What's up, everybody? It's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out the screen door push bar from Valterra. Now, what this is great for is instead of having to step all the way out here and grab this piece of plastic to shut our screen door, or stepping outside to grab the edge and then close it, which is just kind of a pain, we can just grab this bar instead. With this installed, I just grab here. I don't have to leave the camper, and I can shut the door. Another benefit is when you're opening it, you're not worrying about anybody pushing on the screen, maybe damaging that. You got this bar, you just push it, push the door in place, and get out of your RV. Let's check it out. Another awesome thing is it's not just for the screen door. So when you're going to shut your door, you can unlatch it from the camper. And kind of like I said earlier, instead of if it was unlatched, you wouldn't have to reach all the way out here to get the screen door and the door. Usually people grab this latch here. You have to step out and kind of do that. Now you got this bar just to easily shut the door and open it. Now you're probably wondering how sturdy it is, because I was thinking the same thing when I went to go install it. I'm like, is this actually going to help? It's going to hold up. And yeah, it does. I'm shaking it back and forth here. There's no independent rattling of the handle from the screen door. It's going to be as sturdy as your screen door is. So I can move it back and forth rapidly. There's no rattling, no extra. It doesn't seem like it's going to pop off or anything. Like, it's in there and it's going to stay there. Now I did shake it by the handle, but let's take the screen door and go back and forth. Still no rattling, no movement of the handle whatsoever. It also acts as a stabilizer probably for the middle of it, so there's less of a chance of a bend. With now that in there, that kind of acts as a support beam. If you're worried if it's going to fit your door or not, it has 7 inches of adjustability. So it's going to fit doors as small as 21 5/8 and as big as 28 5/8. So that just gives you, as long as you're in that range, you're going to be fine. Now, it's really easy to install too. It didn't take us any time. Let's check out how we did it. When you get your handle, it's going to come in a bunch of different pieces. I assembled this side, and I'll show you how I did that. It's really pretty simple. You just slide the silver part into the black handle here in the middle. Then we attach our piece at the end. It's going to attach to the door. A way to tell what end goes where is you see the multiple holes on this side, and we use to get it to fit our door. Then farther out, there'll be 2 more holes, and that's just to attach the handle part, or the part that attaches the door, sorry. Now I can hold it up there and see exactly where we need it with it loosely put together. So you want to drill in and attach the edges of the door about there. So I'm going to flip it around and see how many holes are exposed on the other side. And it looks like it lines up pretty good with 2 holes on each side. It moved a little bit when I flipped it over, but you can see you got 2 holes outside, and these 2 are lined up. That's where we want it, so I'm going to install the hardware on this now before I mark the holes to drill it out. Set the handle down on the table, that way I can install the hardware. And we're just going to come here on every one of them, line it up, and run a screw through just to hold it in place. Now that I got them started in the place I want them, I'm going to come back here with the drill. Just run them down. Now that the handle's all put together, I'm going to hold it up to the door and mark out the spots I want to drill so I can attach it. So I'm going to come in here with my marker. Make a dot so I know the drill there. And a way to see if this is level is I'm going to measure from the bottom of the door up to this dot on both sides to make sure they're both at the same spot. It's a good way to see if it's level or not, because our trailer's not level right now. So I wouldn't want to just kind of measure the handle. That's not going to be accurate reading. This is the most accurate reading we can do right now. I got my tape measure now. I'm going to go from the center of that dot to the bottom of the door, right at 39 inches. Let's try the other side. Same thing. 39 inches. Awesome. So it's going to be level. I'm good to mark the other holes with the handle and then start drilling them out. Now there is a space, a pretty good gap between our screen door and the regular RV door. So just be mindful of that while you're doing it. Go slow. You'll feel right when it gets to the metal. Stop there. That way you don't get to the door. I don't want to unlatch the door because then the door is going to move back and forth while I'm trying to drill. I think that'll be worse. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to repeat that for all the other ones. With all 4 holes drilled, I just wanted to show you when we moved the door over to close it, the drill never went through the other side of the door. So you have nothing to worry about. It won't be affecting your RV door or ruining the other side of your screen door. Just want to point that out because I thought that was kind of cool. Now, I already ran 1 screw in on the other side to help hold it up while I was doing this, but we're going to line up our screw with the holes we drilled through the part of the handle and run it down with our drill. Goes in nice and easy. And we'll repeat that process on the remaining holes. With our handle installed, now it's way easier to close our screen door. Or we're going to unleash it, put it back. No longer do I have to reach all the way out here and try and grab this to get it, or grab this part. As I showed you, there's not much to grab onto to actually pull it. I guess I could grab this metal part, but I still have to take a big old step out here and grab this to close the door, and that's just kind of inconvenient and kind of unsafe if you're not have sure footing. So grab the door handle now, shut the screen door, and you're done. Well, thanks for hanging out. I hope this helped. Welcome to the huddle, everybody. Today we're going to be checking out this push bar, screen door push bar from Valterra. Any questions?
One thing I was kind of curious about is there optimal mounting location that you're supposed to, or can you pretty much mount it anywhere up and down the door? The only reason I ask is because a lot of people mentioned in the reviews and questions that they got this bar so their grandkids or their kids will stop pushing on the screen door.
Yeah, you can put it wherever you want. You just have to drill the holes to actually install it. You only drill through the first layer of the screen door too, so it never comes through the other side.
Okay.
We put it there because it was kind of in the middle for everybody. But yeah, if you could probably get another one and put it a little bit lower if you have younger kids down here, just to have them have a bar to push on as well.
One thing we had to watch out for is just these screws there in the side. So if we were to mount this slightly lower, we were worried we might run into that. So we just made sure we avoided those. And that was really the only thing we ran into. Otherwise, I would think you could put it pretty much anywhere up and down.
Yeah.
Are you going to run into any interference with the plastic slide there? Or would it?
Not the slide itself, but this addition to the slide, I couldn't go any lower than this because clearly it's going to hit there. So that did cause a little bit of issues.
So you're either going to be probably right where it is, which is adult height, or maybe if you have kids, just right below.
Yeah, you could go down here. You can always buy two.
It's true. And most screen doors don't come with anything like this?
Not that we've seen.
I've seen in any of the RVs we've worked on. Usually, I mean, you got this to grab to kind of move it that way, but still, it's way out here. It's not an easy thing to grab from inside the RV. And I guess you can kind of use this as a handle too if you wanted, but the bar is way easier. And it's just as sturdy as the screen door is going to be. It doesn't rattle independently or anything like that, so it was good.
I would imagine it would be a lot cheaper too to get something like this rather than having to, if your kids keep breaking the screen door, to keep having to replace that too.
Yeah.
So this might be a dumb question, but do people know this exists? I mean, is it common enough out there that they know what they're looking for, or is it something that you just kind of stumble across?
They look like when I was doing research and looking at different YouTube videos and stuff, they know of bars, not specifically this one. I don't think we found a video on this one, but there's a lot of DIY kind of stuff like, hey, make a handle real quick for your screen door. That way you don't bust out the screens and stuff like that. So that is a problem that's out there. I just don't know if they know this bar's out there yet.
Cool. Yeah, you don't have to do it yourself. Look, you can just buy this.
Yeah. And this is way nicer than do it yourself, like PVC pipe. Hey, just drill this here. Like, kind of looks like junk. This one actually looks nice and sleek. It's got the holes in there to adjust to, so when you go to install it, the only holes I had to drill were the ones in the screen door here. So it's got multiple holes on the inside, so when you go to pull it apart, you can adjust it to your door. So you'd have to do you don't have to drill those holes, then drill the screen door holes. You only had to do these. If I didn't complicate that too much.
That made sense.
Yeah, I got it.
From what you've seen, other than obviously those screws and the plastic part, do you think from what you've seen and worked with this, do you think there's any type of like RV doors that this wouldn't work on, or as long as it's within the width parameters do you think it should pretty much fit all doors?
I think it's made to be universal. That's why at adjusting points and stuff like that, I think it's going to go ahead and work with whatever doors those holes on the inside line up with. I don't know how many, Aiden, do you remember how many actually?
There were a lot of adjustment points. I don't remember how many, but
There's a lot of room for adjustments. So
Yeah.
I'd honestly be surprised if it didn't fit any of the doors. That's, I guess, if you have a fancier door, maybe you don't want to put it on there. I did look that up and saw that some people put some real fancy doors on their RVs sometimes.
When you say real fancy doors, I'm just curious what that means.
I don't know, like a wooden door that was like on the inside instead of a screen door. I don't know if it was just like a YouTube thumbnail or what. I don't know. It looked like a little much for an RV. Somebody that wasn't worried about pets or kids gnawing on the door.
I didn't know, have you, because I know there's a very similar like Kemco push bar. I didn't know if you, from what I can tell, other than like a slight difference in the style and the price, I didn't know if you've had any experience with that and how they're different.
Not yet. I did look at it at the website. That's the all black one, right? That goes across.
I think there's multiple Camco ones. There's all black ones, all silver, and then a black and silver like that one.
Okay. No, I took a look at them on the website, and that's as far as I got. This is the only one I've got hands-on with so far.
Go on.
I don't really have a question or anything, but I really like this because I think a lot of people don't realize until they actually like have the RV how, like when you're thinking about opening or closing a door or something, you're not really thinking about how unsteady it can really be. Like if you're having to jump out onto your step and reach over and reach out like that in order to bring it back in. I feel like people don't think about that until they're actually in the RV or seeing a video like this where you're seeing how you would have to lean out to get it.
Yeah, because do it. Grab the inside of the door here, kind of hang out and grab it without the handle. So yeah, you're right. You don't think about it until you do it. You're like, oh yeah, this is way easier.
Right. I'd be taking a tumble down those steps.
Oh yeah, if it was slick or rain or something like that, I'm sure I'd fall right down when I go to close the door.
Especially too if it's like, dark out, nighttime and, you don't have like a RV outdoor porch light or, like I'm sure a little hard to navigate those steps too to try and close the door.
And sometimes the steps are people say steps are a little like bouncy or feel unsteady or something like that. That could be an issue too.
One thing I was curious too, and this is just kind of a rhetorical question. I wonder also if, someone would be able to put this like on their screen door at like home too. I don't know if there's anything that would stop them from doing that.
Other than them being wider, I guess your standard residential door might be a little wider than this, but it is adjustable, so probably.
I just thought I'd put that question because it's been like 20 years since I've had a screen door, so I don't really remember. So,
Screen doors are old school, what we're learning too.
I guess you could also, I'm sure it's not really designed to bear weight, but I'm thinking you could like throw, a hand towel or something over it if you just wanted. It looks like a towel rack, so I
There's
guess you
actually
could.
there's actually someone in one of the Camco, I think reviews that mentioned they occasionally used it as like a towel rack, put their like wet towels on it. So yeah, multi-purpose.
Yeah, you can do it right here. If you go swimming or something, I guess at the lake, you just throw your towel out here. That way you don't take it in the RV and you got somewhere to hang it.
Yeah.
How sturdy would you say it is? I can just see like a kid hanging off of it and, and breaking it.
I'm not going to try and do a pull-up on it because I don't think it's going to hold up to that. It might be the screen door, but I think it's as sturdy as the screen door is.
Gotcha.
Nah, we're not going to do that.
The door will just topple over you.
Yeah, it's not my RV. Jake might get mad.
Right. But yeah, I would imagine that because the screen doors aren't super, super sturdy, obviously, or we wouldn't need a bar because people wouldn't be breaking them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would guess it's as sturdy as the door.
I really didn't have any more questions, unless anyone else did.
I'm a little curious in general about the door parts, like that slide or like the handles, or are they like? Do you need to replace them pretty often?
I don't know. Are you talking about this
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Got a replacement part on it earlier today. I was kind of wondering the same thing because this is the old one, and I don't know how long it's been on here, but I don't know. I think it just depends on your use of it and like how rough you are. I could see maybe, I don't know how, but I just pictured somebody like pulling on too hard and pulling it out of the track, or the plastic eventually breaking because it's been out here in the sun so long. Maybe it gets brittle. I don't know. I don't know how long they actually last. I don't know. It depends on how much you're out in your RV too, I guess.
Yeah.
They're very easy to pull out of the track. We have that issue with ours quite often, just because people use it as a handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think if you had this handle, maybe you would have to replace that less too?
That's what I was just thinking. If you have the handle, then you don't need to replace that.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.